Hey scrappers, if you're looking to figure out what materials you should sell this week or hold this week, now is the time to do it. Our weekly report is going to give you that information, up-to-date market news, pricing. Let's get right into it. We'll talk about it inside. Hey scrappers, Tom here from the iScrap app, and today is Wednesday, February 12th, 2025, just a couple of days before Valentine's Day. So if you haven't gone out and got that chocolate and those cards and flowers yet, don't forget, only 2 days away. But I'll tell you something I have been loving, watching these scrap prices, and we'll talk about that in a second. But I got to tell you something. We put all these videos out, and our members on YouTube are being given these videos way earlier than other people. 3 to 5 videos a month are going to members only. So if you're interested in learning about the YouTube membership through iScrap, please, we have links below and you'll be able to get these early releases on videos, just give you more scrap knowledge. And our team's been doing a great job putting these together. So we look forward to seeing that. Let's just jump into it. I mean, there's so many good things to talk about this week. I am live. It's 1 p.m. Eastern, Wednesday, February 12th. So if you're watching this live, please ask any questions that you have. We're going to have hopefully a lot of people joining and asking some of these questions. Next week, we're going to have a pure Q&A session that's going to be pre-recorded. So we do answer your questions, even if they're not during these live sessions. So get ready for some Q&A next week. Now, just the other day, President Trump put into effect a 25% tariff on the steel and on the aluminum markets. What does that mean for you? What does that mean for pricing? Okay, so the tariffs, excuse me, the tariffs are on metals coming into the country. So if the metals are already here in the country, there's no tariffs on them. So what have we seen? An immediate jump in pricing for domestic products by $15 to $30 and more like $30 to $50 when you start factoring in some of those changes we saw last week. So those are good pieces of news, right? So people are like, oh, tariffs are so bad. Well, they aren't for scrap. They're finally making these prices go up as the U.S. domestic market has been flooded with cheap steel for years. So we're getting all this cheap steel into the country. Why do you think the scrap prices are so cheap? There's abundance of metal, right? The U.S., while we are manufacturing, we're not shipping out millions of cars a year. So a lot of those things that are being made with steel are staying here in the country. So now that recycling process, we're now going to start to have more of an internal domestic recycling process, limiting the amount of supply, increasing the demand. And yes, that's what the tariffs are going to do to the steel markets. We're going to have higher prices. Yippee! So there's something to write to Cupid about and be thankful on. When are those going to hit? That's a different question, right? Generally, scrap yards take out orders on steel. All right, I'm going to sell 500 tons of steel this month to this, steel smelter or whoever it is. So they need to fill that. Once those orders are taken, right, then that's when the new prices kick in. So if you're going to say to me, Tom, when can I expect those prices to go up? Well, on paper, they're already up. But depending on the size of your scrapyard, they're going to move as their old orders get filled, their new orders open up. And I can promise you this, all of these scrapyards are trying to get their old orders out as quickly as possible so they can get to these higher prices because you can't just cancel orders. So we are going to see markets increasing, and that's another good thing to be able to see. Now, we have a question? No? Okay. So steel pricing, positive, right? Demand, positive. Tariffs for the steel scrap markets, positive, right? I'm not going to talk about tariffs on a goods and services, buying thing point of view. I'm here to talk about scrap, so let's talk about good things. Lots of scrap love going around today. The second half of the tariff talk is the aluminum markets, right? So here we saw, where's the article, Virginia? You have it up there? We had the tariff one introduced last week, and we immediately started to see premiums going up on a lot of the aluminum things. You can see this from Reuters. We're going to have all types of information coming out, and you're going to hear a lot of news outlets throwing this two different ways, right? So it's important to think about tariffs from 2 points of view, right? There's the scrap guy, right? So we're happy about prices, right? As a scrapper, I'm happy that steel's going to go up. I'm happy that aluminum's going to go up. Those are good things. My other hat, from a consumer point of view, if I went to buy a new F-150, I should expect a few months from now that F-150 to be more expensive than it is today. Why? Well, the previous ones that were on the lot will be gone. The new ones that are going to start to be made are going to be made with higher aluminum and steel prices. Again, very simple math, right? So consumers will see prices going up, but hopefully they won't see it in a huge way like we saw in 2021 and 2022 with inflation going through the roof. We're hoping to be able to see those energy prices decreasing. If metal goes up a little bit, that should balance itself out, and that should start to give us the ability to have flatline numbers where our year-over-year inflation is less than 2%, and that's one of the things that we're going to be looking for. Now, those tariffs got slapped on everyone, essentially, right? I think Australia is the only one that currently has a 30-day waiver on the steel and aluminum tariffs. And not to be, shocked here, when the Chinese got that, they immediately put tariffs on all types of things. They have export controls on different minerals coming to us. You got a question, V?
Finish your thought.
Okay. The Chinese put restrictions on critical minerals that could be coming to us. They put export tariffs on some of their materials where they're restricting how much can get shipped, because not only did the United States do the 25% steel and aluminum tariff, they also slapped the 10% blanket tariff on all Chinese goods, which kind of prompted that little comeback. And now we haven't seen another comeback from the Chinese because this just happened the last 2 days. So it's going to be interesting thing to be able to kind of learn. What do we got, Pete?
We have a question from Teddy. He asks, how long should we wait to sell our steel and aluminum when prices increase?
Yeah, Teddy, awesome question. Follow the pricing through the iScrap app. Post your prices, check prices that others have received, and tune in every week, whether it's to our report or our videos. Like I just said a few minutes ago, I don't see the prices increasing tomorrow, right? Like my pricing this month has increased by about $10 to $15 a ton. That's it. The number should be 30 to 50, but again, the people that I sell to still have old orders to fill. So they're slowly bringing their pricing up so they can fill the old orders, take out new orders, and they don't have either too many orders to fill or too much scrap to sell. So they're trying to find that balancing point. Teddy, another question?
We have a question from Ben. What about materials to rebuild California and smart cities coming to you?
So Ben, when we look at, great question, thank you. Looking at rebuilding California, anytime I look at, horrible things that happen like North Carolina or California or parts of the Gulf Coast that got hit with different storms, what type of areas got hit? Residential or commercial? So in California, we have what? A lot of residences that got destroyed. Those are built by wood, plastic, plywood, plastic being PEX for all the things. So the infrastructure needed to rebuild those homes is not going to be metal driven, but the existing infrastructure that we have out there for water, electric, that's already there. So they're going to have to test it, but it's not going to have a huge demand when it comes to metals. It's a great question, but I don't think that it's going to affect scrap prices nearly as much. Any other questions right now? Okay. So we talked about aluminum. Again, aluminum pricing is going to go up a little slower, probably another month before we start to see these prices swinging. So if you're asking, when should I sell? I'd probably hold out until March just to feel things out, but check back with us in the next couple of weeks. And that's where we're at when it comes to the immediate metal tariffs that went into effect this week. So if you have more questions about that, let us know. And now we'll start talking about a little copper pricing. We have another question?
Yeah, Thomas just asked about aluminum and copper. So you just answered about aluminum.
Yeah, so
Copper.
aluminum pricing for like sheet, we've seen prices in the 50-55 cent range, siding 60-62 cents, so strong markets there. And I'm going to start to talk about copper right now, and we'll go from there. Copper prices have been crazy, and you would think that going into Valentine's Day that I'd put this heart, I'd just be going, oh God, I love these copper prices. But I want to explain what's happening with the copper prices, because it isn't as easy as, oh, the markets are up, we're going to make more money. In the beginning of January, copper was trading at $4.06 per pound. Today, copper is trading at $4.70 per pound. That's a 64-cent increase and about 15% gain. Nothing else has gone up like that. So that's a warning signal. The demand hasn't increased. Okay, warning signal. There's no tariffs on copper imports, direct copper imports, outside of what I said with the Chinese, 10%, right? And a lot of those are more on products than just raw materials. So why is copper pricing going up so much? Now, there's a few different rumors that are swirling around. Some of you may have read them. One is that President Trump is looking at doing a 10 to 12% tariff on copper. So what's going to happen to copper prices? Well, look what just happened to steel and aluminum. Tariffs hit, markets go up. So this 15% increase in copper prices may be off of future news of tariffs being slapped on other countries' copper imports. Okay, following me? Yes. Okay, and no one's talking to me, so I'll say yes to this. So copper prices are up. Why hasn't your scrapyard increased pricing by 15% this year? Because I haven't. I started the year paying Bear Bright around $3.60, $3.65, and today I'm at $4 recycling. When I sell my copper, I'm given spreads, right? So let's say we'll go with round numbers. Let's say copper's trading at $1 a pound, and I want to sell Bear Bright. I could sell Bear Bright to a mill for 7 cents under. So I could sell it for 93 cents per pound. As the prices have gone up so fast the last few days and weeks, that 7-cent spread has widened to about 15 or 17 cents. So now if I was going to sell Bear Bright off of $1 per pound Comex trading, now I'm only going to get about 85 cents. Well, why is that? Well, when prices go up so fast, copper mills get inundated with product, especially domestically, because there's no tariffs or just keeping good business in the country. When it moves up this fast, it's generally not because of supply and demand. It's generally because it's driven by traders who are able to trade copper contracts, whether they're future contracts or anything else, and that's going to decrease the pricing. So as the spreads increase, as the prices increase, yes, you will see more per pound for your copper. But if you see copper prices go up 10 cents, you're only probably going to see your yard go up 5 cents, because they aren't getting those other 5 cents. That's being built into these bigger and bigger buffers. So hopefully that makes a little sense. I'm still very optimistic because copper prices are up. They will continue to go up right now. I expect them to hit $5 per pound before it goes back to $4.50 at the rates that we're looking at right now. So I think we're closer to 5 than we are to 450, and 450 is technically closer to today's trading numbers. Question?
We have an interesting statement from Jim. We own a chunk of stock of a copper mining company. Every time the price of copper goes up 10 cents, the stock goes up $3.
That's a great investment. I mean, I know a lot of people that buy into a bunch of copper mining companies. I'm not a stock trader, but there's different ETFs they're called, where you can join, like I think it's like COPX or something, where you can follow a lot of these copper things where they all get grouped together. But if you see copper prices continuing to increase, and what's cool about that, thank you for commenting, Jim, I would go to last May 2024. I would look at some of those prices of copper when it went crazy, and then compare them to some of the copper stocks in May of 24. I bet you see they both go up, but watch what happens in that beginning of June when things switch. They both quickly went down. So watch that correlation. This way it can help you have a better idea of what may happen with your stocks.
Another question. Chevy, what is car bodies at now?
So empty car bodies should be in the 150 to 180 range right now. An auto shred. So if you pick them apart, if there's no copper left on them, be closer to a light iron. So 150, 180 should be good. Different parts of the country, of course, could see prices much less right now.
And
another question?
Drew asks, will stainless finally be going up?
Yeah, Drew, no. The answer is no. Stainless is not going up. I took away my hold on stainless that I had for a really long time because I thought we were going to see nickel prices turning. I haven't seen any nickel prices turning. I haven't seen anything positive. I haven't seen news coming out about batteries using nickel. I haven't seen, high demand, unless everyone plans on buying a Cybertruck soon. I don't know where else that stainless and nickel products are going to go. So thank you for asking. Another question.
Nope, not right now.
Nope. Okay. Go back. Steel, aluminum, copper, brass, catalytic converters. Catalytic converter prices have been helped by markets increasing. We've seen platinum and palladium both go over $1,000 per ounce. So that's really strong. Rhodium continues to stay wah-wah. What I'm going to be interested in, actually, I just saw 10 minutes before I came on this live session, President Trump announced that him and President Putin are going to start to talk about ending the war in Ukraine. Now, if everyone remembers, back in March of 22, when Russia invaded Ukraine, what happened to catalytic converter prices? They went nuts. Rhodium up, palladium up, platinum up. Why? Because Russia supplied so much of this. And then basically they just put on a spigot. Nope, turning off. You can't sell anything from Russia to the United States or any of our allies. Well, the markets went crazy for 3 or 4 months because people didn't know where the supply was going to come from, and has since come crashing back down to pre-COVID levels. Do I think catalytic converter prices are going to go up? Hell yeah, I do. Gold's going to hit $3,000 an ounce this week or next week. That's my prediction. We're at like $29.30 right now. With tariff talks, with trade uncertainties, with so many things happening, gold's going to hit it. I think that platinum and palladium are going to follow. And depending on what starts to happen with these talkings of different parties from the US, Russia, Ukraine, I don't know how that's going to affect catalytic converter prices, but we may start to see more of a flow. Plus, we've also talked about this. I'm not going to beat a dead horse. We've been eliminating the EV tax credit, so people may be buying less EVs, more gas engines, higher gas mileage, more precious metals. They all were going to feed together. But if you're looking for prices on catalytic converters, rrcats.com is continuing to offer free shipping on OEM cats, 10-day price locks, and we just have a really great system here. So if you're looking to learn more about our services, please let us know. Question?
We have a question from the recycling guy. Your thoughts on the effects of tariffs on the beverage industry?
Yeah, sure. Great question. On the beverage industry, you're going to see aluminum pricing go up, right? Steel pricing go up. So aluminum bottles and cans will go up in pricing. So how's that going to affect your 6-pack? I don't know, by a quarter, right? It wouldn't shock me if you saw a few cents added for a 6-pack, maybe 50 cents. You think about it, just think about weight, right? I think you need 24 cans or 25 cans to make a pound. So you're talking about a quarter of a pound in aluminum if you bought a 6-pack. So, what are we looking at in scrap there? 15 cents. So even if the markets do go up, you're not going to see beverage prices increasing by more than, I don't know, 10 to 15 cents per can. Hopefully that helps you. I never thought about that one.
We have one more question. Gio's shouting at us in the comments.
All right, Gio, let's do it.
Earlier at 10 a.m. Will we be seeing an increase in brass? Also, I think considering 90% copper.
So, Gio, awesome question. Don't call it brass if it's 90% copper, first and foremost. That's bronze. That is 100% bronze. That's why you should be a YouTube member, checking out our videos. We have different descriptions of brass versus bronze. Yes, you will see a price increase. Copper is going up. Bronze is made of 90% copper. That's going to be going up. So that's going to help you. That's a win, right? So awesome question. Don't sell your bronze as brass. You'll lose 40 or 50 cents a pound. And if you check out some of our member only videos on YouTube, you'll see some videos we've done in the past about this. You can make a lot of money on brass. My top 2 things you can upgrade, brass and aluminum. So those are awesome things. So scrappers, today is February 12th, 2025. Appreciate everyone tuning in. I think this is the most live viewers that we've ever had. I love your questions. Next week, we got a Q&A. Ask us things about tariffs, metal pricing, where things are going to go. If I don't have the answer, I'm going to get knowledge to give you the answer the next week. I hope you all have a very happy Valentine's Day, or is it Scrappentine's Day? Regardless, I'll be back live in a couple weeks. My name is Tom from the iScrap. And until next week, I'll scrap you later.